Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into the world of rare and fascinating coins, and we've got something truly special for you. If you think a 1-cent coin is nothing more than loose change, think again. Today, we're exploring the United States of America 1-cent coin from 1973, a seemingly ordinary coin that could be worth far more than you'd expect. The 1973 1-cent coin, or penny, is often overlooked by collectors, but it's far from ordinary. While most pennies from this year are relatively inexpensive and widely available, there's something that makes certain 1973 pennies extremely valuable. To understand why, we need to take a step back and look at the history of U.S. coinage and how tiny variations can make all the difference in a coin's worth. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, just like every year. But what makes the 1973 penny so intriguing for collectors is the fact that some of these coins were mistakenly struck in a way that makes them highly rare. It's these rare coins, those with subtle but distinct errors, that can be worth an extraordinary amount of money. It's not just the age or the metal that gives these pennies their value, it's all about the condition, the minting process, and even the smallest mistakes made during production. Let's talk about what makes a coin like this valuable. One factor that can increase a coin's worth is its rarity. While most 1973 pennies were minted and circulated, very few remain in perfect, uncirculated condition. Coins that have been preserved over the years without wear and tear are incredibly sought after by collectors. But it's not just about being in pristine condition. Sometimes, the value of a coin can skyrocket due to rare minting errors that set it apart from the hundreds of millions of other coins from the same year. Some collectors hunt for specific types of 1973 pennies, such as those with certain die errors or unusual variations in the design. For example, there are reports of 1973 pennies being struck with an off-center design, or with the wrong metal composition. These errors are what make some of these coins highly valuable to numismatists, the experts who study coins. A simple mistake during the minting process could turn an otherwise common penny into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Another key element that adds value to a 1973 penny is the specific type of error it might have. For example, there have been rare discoveries of 1973 pennies with double dies, meaning the design on the coin was struck twice, creating a noticeable shift in the image. This kind of minting flaw is highly prized by collectors, as it's rare and can make a coin unique. For those of you wondering, what kind of value can you expect from a 1973 penny? Well, the price can vary depending on factors such as the condition of the coin and any minting errors it might have. But here's the exciting part: in exceptional cases, a 1973 penny, particularly one with a major minting error or in near-perfect condition, has been known to sell for a staggering amount. We're not talking about a few dollars here. These rare and valuable coins can fetch prices in the tens of thousands of dollars. If you have a 1973 penny lying around, you might want to take a closer look. A coin that has been kept in pristine condition, or one that happens to have an unusual error, could very well be worth more than you could imagine. So, here's the big reveal: if you happen to find a 1973 1-cent coin in excellent condition, or with one of those rare minting errors that makes it unique, it could be worth as much as $62,000. Yes, you heard that right, $62,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin so small and seemingly insignificant could hold such massive value. So, before you dismiss any old pennies you come across, take a moment to check their condition and look for any potential errors. You might just have a hidden gem on your hands that could make you a small fortune. Top 2, we're diving deep into the world of a seemingly ordinary coin that might be hiding a treasure within it: the United States 1-cent coin from 1982. At first glance, it might just look like a regular penny you'd find in your pocket or jar of loose change, but stick around, because this little coin has some big surprises in store. So, what makes the 1982 penny so interesting, and why are collectors getting excited about it? To answer that, we need to understand a bit about the history behind the coin and the changes that occurred in its production. In 1982, something very significant happened in the world of U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint made a shift in the materials used to produce the penny. Up until then, pennies were primarily made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, due to rising copper prices, the mint decided to change the composition of the penny in 1982, creating two different types of pennies during that year, one made of copper and the other made of a copper-plated zinc alloy. What's so fascinating about this shift is that it created an important distinction between pennies minted before and after mid-1982. While most of the pennies minted that year were made with the new zinc composition, the earlier versions, which still retain the traditional copper content, are rare and highly sought after by collectors. The key to their value lies in their composition, as they are not only scarcer but also made with a higher percentage of copper, which gives them intrinsic value beyond just their face value. Now, let's talk about how collectors can tell the difference between the two types of pennies from 1982. The first way to spot a copper penny from 1982 is by its weight. The copper version weighs around 3.11 grams, while the zinc version is slightly lighter, weighing only about 2.5 grams. A quick and easy way to identify the copper pennies is by using a simple scale. If you've got a 1982 penny that weighs 3.11 grams, you've got a little gem on your hands, but the weight isn't the only factor that makes the 1982 copper pennies valuable. Their rarity, the condition they're in, and how well preserved they are also play a big role in determining their worth. Pennies that have been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition are especially coveted by collectors. If you've ever heard of coins being called mint state or MS, that's a term used to describe coins that are essentially as close to perfect as possible. These coins are free from wear, scratches, or any visible damage, which makes them significantly more valuable. Beyond just the weight and condition of the coin, the real treasure lies in the errors and minting flaws that can occur. Coins with rare minting errors are always in high demand among collectors, and the 1982 pennies are no exception. Some of these errors include double strikes, where the coin has been stamped twice with the design, or off-center strikes, where the image is not properly aligned on the coin. These errors make the coin even more valuable and can cause their prices to skyrocket. So, how much can a 1982 penny actually be worth? Well, the price can vary depending on its condition and whether it has any minting errors, but here's the exciting part: in some cases, a 1982 copper penny in uncirculated condition, or one with a rare error, can be worth a lot more than you might think. We're talking about values reaching as high as $53,000. Yes, you heard that right, $53,000 for a single penny. Imagine stumbling upon a penny in your collection or while searching through your pocket change, only to realize it's worth thousands of dollars. It's truly remarkable how something so small and common could hold such a high price tag. So, next time you're sorting through your coins, keep an eye out for those 1982 pennies. You could be holding onto a rare treasure that's far more valuable than you thought. Remember, it's all about the composition, the condition, and any potential minting errors that make these pennies stand out. Top 3, we're diving into the fascinating world of US currency, and what we have in store is a real gem. It's a coin that you've probably seen many times, but you might not have known just how much hidden value it holds. We're talking about the 1981 United States 1-cent coin. That's right, a penny from 1981 could be worth far more than you think, and today we're going to uncover why. Stick around as we explore the unique characteristics of this coin and why some 1981 pennies are fetching incredible prices in the market. At first glance, the 1981 penny may not seem all that different from the countless others that are scattered in your coin jar or sitting at the bottom of your wallet. However, for collectors, the 1981 1-cent coin carries with it an important story. In the world of numismatics, pennies are far more than just low-value coins. They can tell us about the history, the economy, and even the minting process of the time. To understand what makes the 1981 penny so valuable, we need to take a look back at the time it was minted. The early 1980s were a pivotal time in U.S. history. The country was in the midst of dealing with a tough economy, dealing with inflation and the shift in material costs. The U.S. Mint, like many other industries, had to adapt. At this point, the cost of copper had been rising, and it was beginning to affect the production of coins like the penny. While the composition of the penny remained copper-based at the time, there were soon to be significant changes that would affect later coins, particularly with the 1982 penny. But that's a story for another day. Today, we're focusing on the 1981 penny, which was still made of 95% copper, a key factor that makes some of these coins particularly sought after. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1981 penny such a catch for collectors. Although the design on the 1981 penny is the same as that of most other U.S. pennies, there are subtle variations that set some of them apart. The coin itself features the famous Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, a design that has graced pennies since 1959. The obverse features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, as it has since the coin's inception. But it's not just the design that interests collectors, it's the condition, the errors, and the rarity of certain 1981 pennies that make them so valuable. As with many other coins, the key to determining the value of a 1981 penny comes down to its condition. A penny that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition is much rarer than one that has been used in circulation for decades. Over time, coins that have been regularly handled or spent wear down, losing their sharp details, their luster, and their overall appeal. This makes finding a mint-condition 1981 penny a rare and exciting event for collectors, but it doesn't stop there. The real jackpot for collectors comes in the form of minting errors. Yes, you heard that right. Like with many other coins, mistakes can happen during the minting process, and these errors are highly prized in the numismatic world. Some 1981 pennies have been found with double-struck designs, where the coin has been stamped twice, resulting in an image that's misaligned or blurry. There are also instances of off-center strikes, where the design is positioned incorrectly on the coin. These minting errors are the true treasures, as they're extremely rare and add a unique quality to the coin. A 1981 penny with such an error can be worth far more than its face value. Now, you may be wondering, how much is a 1981 penny worth if you happen to come across one in perfect condition or with a rare minting error? While most 1981 pennies in regular circulation are worth just 1 cent, the rare and well-preserved specimens, especially those with minting errors, can fetch impressive amounts. Depending on the specific error or condition of the coin, a single 1981 penny can be worth tens of thousands of dollars to the right collector. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, how much could a 1981 penny really be worth? If you happen to have one of these rare gems, whether it's a well-preserved, uncirculated coin or one with a minting error, it could be worth as much as $55,000. That's right, $55,000 for a single penny. Imagine finding a penny from 1981 that could have such a huge value. It's truly mind-blowing to think that something as small and seemingly insignificant as a penny could carry such a massive price tag. So, if you've got any 1981 pennies hanging around, or if you come across one in your pocket change, be sure to check its condition and look closely for any potential errors. You might just have a valuable coin on your hands that could change your life. Top 4. If you think that a penny is just a penny, well, you're about to find out that it might be worth far more than you think. Today, we're going to explore the United States 1-cent coin from 1985. While most of us think of pennies as low-value coins, some of these 1985 pennies are hiding a secret that could make them worth a small fortune. Stick with us until the end to discover just how much this seemingly ordinary coin could actually be worth. The 1985 penny, like most pennies, was produced by the U.S. Mint with the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes the 1985 1-cent coin so intriguing is that, while it was minted in large quantities, there are some rare and valuable versions that have captured the attention of serious coin collectors. These coins are far from ordinary. What seems like a small and inexpensive piece of history could actually hold a much higher value than its face value. Let's start by taking a closer look at what makes a coin like the 1985 penny special. As you may know, US coins are made with specific materials, and by the mid-1980s, the composition of the penny had shifted. Since 1982, the penny had been primarily composed of copper-plated zinc, as opposed to the earlier copper-only composition. This change in material was a result of rising copper prices, and it marked the beginning of a new era for the US penny. For most 1985 pennies, the composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper made them fairly standard for that era. However, there are some incredibly rare exceptions. These exceptions are what make certain 1985 pennies highly valuable to collectors. When it comes to rare pennies, one key factor that can significantly increase a coin's value is its condition. As we all know, coins used in circulation often accumulate wear and tear. But a penny that's been kept in pristine condition, free from damage or scratches, is a true treasure. For collectors, a well-preserved 1985 penny, especially one that hasn't seen the wear and tear of daily transactions, is highly sought after and can fetch a pretty impressive price. But that's not all. Beyond just the condition, certain 1985 pennies have been found with minting errors, making them even more valuable. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin's production, resulting in flaws or unique variations that make the coin stand out. For example, a 1985 penny with a double die or a misaligned strike could be worth far more than a regular penny. Double die errors occur when the design is struck twice during the minting process, which can create a noticeable duplication of the image. These types of errors are incredibly rare, and collectors love them because they are one of a kind. Another type of error that can increase the value of a 1985 penny is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, resulting in a coin that has the design placed unevenly or off to one side. These off-center pennies are also considered rarities, and depending on how extreme the error is, they can add thousands of dollars to the coin's value. So, how much could a 1985 penny be worth? Well, it all depends on the coin's condition and any rare errors it might have. Most 1985 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but the rare, error-filled versions are a whole different story. If you're lucky enough to find a 1985 penny in near-perfect condition or one with a significant minting error, you could be sitting on a real treasure. In fact, these rare pennies can sell for astonishing amounts, sometimes reaching $50,000, yes, you heard that right, $50,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but with the right combination of condition and rarity, a 1985 penny could be worth more than just pocket change. So, if you've got any 1985 pennies in your collection or happen to come across one in your spare change, make sure to give it a closer look. Check the condition, look for any unusual marks, and see if it has any minting errors that could make it a valuable collector's item. You never know, that penny you almost ignored could be worth thousands of dollars. Top 5, we're going to talk about something truly exciting in the world of numismatics, a coin that's been around for decades but has quietly gained incredible value over the years. We're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1975. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? But wait, this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a small fortune. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how valuable this little coin can be. The 1975 penny is one of those coins that often gets overlooked in the grand scheme of US currency. It doesn't have the glamour of a rare silver dollar or the historical significance of certain gold coins. But what makes the 1975 penny interesting is that it comes from a time of transition for US coinage, and it holds a special place in numismatic history. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. In 1975, the US Mint was in the middle of dealing with the effects of inflation and rising metal costs. The 1970s were marked by an economic shift that would change the way pennies and other coins were made. For many years, US pennies were composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, the rising cost of copper meant the US Mint had to make some adjustments. While the composition of the penny didn't change until 1982, the the years leading up to that were marked by a push to find a more cost-effective solution. So, what makes the 1975 penny so valuable, especially when compared to other pennies minted around that time? The key lies in its composition and, more importantly, in the rare circumstances that led to some of these pennies being minted with unique characteristics. The 1975 pennies were primarily composed of copper, just like many other pennies that came before them. However, a few unusual factors set some of them apart and made them highly desirable to collectors. One of the main things that make the 1975 penny worth more than its face value is its rarity in high-grade condition. Many coins from this era were heavily circulated, and because the penny wasn't seen as valuable by the general public, they weren't always kept in the best condition. So, finding a 1975 penny in mint condition, one that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated shape, is a rare find indeed. As a result, these coins have become increasingly sought after by collectors who are looking for well-preserved examples from this era. But it's not just the condition that makes some 1975 pennies valuable, it's the errors that were made during the minting process. Like with many other coins, mistakes can happen during production, and some of those mistakes lead to coins that are far more valuable than their standard counterparts. The 1975 penny, in particular, has seen its share of minting errors. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die strike, which occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear twice. These double die pennies are incredibly rare and can be worth a small fortune to the right collector. Another common error that collectors look for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not aligned properly in the press, resulting in a design that's shifted to one side. These off-center pennies are also highly collectible and can fetch higher prices, depending on how far off-center the strike is. Now, let's get to the good part, the value. You might be wondering, how much can a 1975 penny actually be worth? Well, as with most collectible coins, the value depends on the condition, rarity, and any errors it may have. A standard 1975 penny in average circulated condition is worth just its face value, 1 cent. But when you start talking about a 1975 penny in mint condition, or one with a rare error like a double die strike or an off-center strike, the price tag can go up significantly. In fact, the most valuable 1975 pennies, those that are in uncirculated condition and feature significant errors, can sell for as much as $59,000. Yes, that's right, $59,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin so small, something we often toss aside without a second thought, could be worth such a large sum. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or someone who loves finding hidden treasures in their spare change? It means that you should always be on the lookout for rare coins, especially those from the mid-1970s. You never know when you might come across a 1975 penny that's worth far more than its 1 cent face value. It could be worth thousands of dollars. To wrap it up, the 1975 penny may seem like just another piece of change at first glance, but with the right condition and potential errors, it could be worth a small fortune. If you have any 1975 pennies lying around, make sure to take a closer look at them. You could be sitting on a rare gem without even knowing it. Top 6, we've got an absolutely fascinating topic that's sure to get you excited about the world of numismatics. We're diving into the United States 1 cent coin from 1971, a seemingly simple penny that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike for its hidden value. You might have one or two of these sitting around in your change jar, but did you know that this little coin could be worth far more than its face value? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked at just how much a 1971 penny can really fetch in the world of coin collecting. Let's take a step back and look at the historical context behind the 1971 penny. The early 1970s were a time of change and uncertainty in the U.S. economy. The country was dealing with inflation and rising production costs, which impacted the way coins were made. The U.S. Mint was working under the pressures of increasing metal costs, especially with copper, which was used in the production of pennies. By 1971, the penny was still being made primarily from a copper alloy, but as we know, this would eventually change. Despite these challenges, the 1971 penny remains a memorable piece of U.S. history and is still in circulation today. What makes the 1971 penny so valuable to collectors, though? The key lies in its rarity and condition. In general, coins like the 1971 penny were widely circulated, meaning that most of them spent years in people's pockets, wallets, and purses, enduring the wear and tear of everyday transactions. Over time, these coins would get scratched, dented, and worn down, making them far less valuable in the eyes of collectors. But what if you could find a 1971 penny in pristine condition? That's where the true value of this coin starts to shine. A 1971 penny that's been kept in mint condition or one that hasn't seen the heavy circulation of everyday coins is considered a rare find. Collectors are constantly searching for well-preserved coins from this era, and finding one in excellent condition can significantly boost its value. But, of course, it's not just about looking nice. The way a coin was struck during the minting process also plays a huge role in determining its worth. So, let's talk about one of the most intriguing aspects of the 1971 penny, the potential for minting errors. Minting errors are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting. Coins that were struck incorrectly, whether they have double die strikes, off-center strikes, or other flaws, are highly desirable to collectors. These error coins can be much more valuable than their standard counterparts because they are unique and hard to come by. A coin that has a visible error, such as a double die, means that the design was struck more than once, causing a blurring or doubling of the image. In the case of the 1971 penny, a double die strike would make it incredibly valuable. The more pronounced the error, the higher the value. Another error to look out for in the 1971 penny is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to appear off-center or misaligned. These coins are unique and very rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. An off-center 1971 penny can be worth far more than its face value, especially if the misalignment is particularly noticeable. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1971 penny actually be worth? After all, it's just a penny, right? Well, you'd be surprised. Most 1971 pennies in average circulated condition are worth just 1 cent, as you'd expect. But when it comes to a well-preserved, uncirculated 1971 penny or one that features a minting error, the value skyrockets. Collectors have been known to pay big money for these rare specimens. In fact, if you happen to have a 1971 penny in perfect condition or one with a minting error like a double die strike or an off-center strike, it could be worth a staggering $74,000, yes, that's right, $74,000 for a single penny. That's the kind of value some 1971 pennies have reached in the right market. It's truly incredible to think that a coin worth only 1 cent could turn into an incredible treasure, just by being in the right condition or having a unique error. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or someone who might have a stash of pennies lying around? It means that you should be paying close attention to those old pennies. Don't just toss them aside thinking they're not worth anything. A 1971 penny could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you to discover its hidden value. Whether it's an uncirculated gem or a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Before you go checking your coin jars, remember that not every 1971 penny will be worth thousands of dollars. But if you have one that's in excellent condition or features an error, you might want to take it to a professional appraiser or coin dealer to get it evaluated. You never know, you could be holding onto something truly special. Top 7 and last unique coin, we're going to explore a coin that's been quietly hiding its true value for decades, the United States 1 cent coin from 1980. While it may seem like just another ordinary penny, this particular coin has gained significant attention in the world of numismatics for its rarity and potential worth. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much a 1980 penny could fetch in today's market. First, let's take a step back and look at the context in which the 1980 penny was minted. The United States was going through a period of economic transition in the late 1970s and early 1980s. The country was dealing with inflation, a shifting job market, and a growing interest in precious metals. The design of the penny, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, had been the same for decades. But while the design remained the same, changes were underway in terms of how the coins were made. In 1980, the U.S. Mint was still using the same copper composition for pennies that had been in place for many years, 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, this composition would soon change in the coming years due to rising copper prices. This meant that the 1980 penny is part of a group of coins from the last days of the traditional copper penny. Because of this, the 1980 penny holds a special place in history, especially as the composition shifted in 1982. Now, let's talk about the value of this penny. Most 1980 pennies are pretty common and don't stand out in terms of value. They were minted in large quantities, and many of them circulated heavily. Like most coins from this era, most 1980 pennies have experienced the usual wear and tear of daily use. They might have scratches, dings, or discoloration. So, if you have a typical 1980 penny, it's worth just its face value of 1 cent. However, things start to get interesting when you look at coins that have been preserved in near perfect condition. Coins that are in uncirculated condition are always highly prized by collectors. The 1980 penny is no exception. As the years go by, coins from this era become rarer in mint condition, and when one does show up in excellent shape, it can fetch a much higher price. A 1980 penny that has been carefully stored and maintained without being heavily circulated can be worth far more than a penny from that same year that's been through years of transactions. But wait, there's more. In the world of coin collecting, there's one key factor that can make a seemingly common coin incredibly valuable: minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that occurred during the coin production process, and they can make a coin incredibly rare and valuable. These mistakes can result in coins with misprints, doubled designs, off-center strikes, and other unusual features that set them apart from regular coins. For the 1980 penny, one of the most desirable errors collectors look for is the double die strike. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the press, causing the design to appear doubled. The 1980 penny is particularly known for these double die errors, and if you happen to find one, it could dramatically increase the value of the coin. The more noticeable the error, the more valuable the penny becomes. Double die pennies are highly sought after because they are rare and make the coin look unique. Another type of error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny is not aligned properly during the minting process, causing the design to appear shifted to one side. These off-center pennies are also highly collectible, especially if the misalignment is extreme. A penny with a dramatic off-center strike can be worth far more than a typical 1980 penny. Now, you may be wondering, how much is a 1980 penny actually worth? Well, the value can vary depending on its condition, any errors it may have, and the current market demand. A standard 1980 penny in average circulated condition will still be worth only 1 cent. However, if you have a 1980 penny that's in excellent, uncirculated condition, or if it has a rare minting error like a double die or an off-center strike, it could be worth significantly more. In fact, a well-preserved 1980 penny with the right characteristics could be worth an incredible $53,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $53,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that a coin worth just 1 cent could become so valuable over time, but that's the power of rare, error-filled coins in the world of numismatics. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or someone who enjoys searching through old coins? It means that the 1980 penny is one you definitely want to keep an eye out for. If you've got any 1980 pennies lying around in your collection or your coin jar, now might be the perfect time to take a closer look at them. You never know, you might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. In summary, the 1980 penny may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but it holds hidden value that could turn it into a small fortune. Whether it's a rare, uncirculated specimen or one with a unique minting error, the 1980 penny has earned its place in the hearts of collectors. If you happen to find one with the right qualities, you could be looking at a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. We hope you enjoyed learning about the 1980 penny and its potential value. If you have any of these coins, make sure to take a good look at them, and who knows, you might be holding on to something much more valuable than you thought. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and we'll see you next time.